Hello Cougars, this is Dr. Jim Brewer, District Administrator here for the Clinton Community School District. And this week we had a very, very important school board meeting this week, and it was the annual meeting. And with me today to talk a little bit about the annual meeting is?
I'm Kathy Zwergstis, the returning business manager for the Clinton Community School District.
So on Kathy, Wednesday night we held our annual meeting, and for those of us in education, we do consider this to probably be the most important board meeting of the year, partially because we're setting the levy for our taxpayers. And Wednesday night was a big night, particularly for you as a business manager. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you presented on Wednesday night at the annual meeting?
Absolutely. It is the biggest meeting of the year, especially for finances, like Dr. Brewer mentioned. We talk about how property values increased over the previous year, what the final revenue limit worksheet and formula look like for the school district, which is based upon enrollment and state per pupil amounts. Equalization aid gets discussed, and then finally, most importantly to our taxpayers, is the tax levy for the upcoming December tax bills.
And I'll let you talk a little bit more about what we did with the levy, but a few highlights of the meeting on Wednesday night. One was we lowered our mill rate pretty significantly here in Clinton. We went from $12.50 per thousand down to $10.84 per thousand, so an over 13% reduction in the mill rate. Also our levy, can you talk a little bit about where the levy ended up at?
Sure. The levy over the previous year ended at a decrease of 1.5%. Most of the time, it's hard to keep the levy flat. Most of the time, there are levy increases. So the fact that there was not even just a hold, but a decrease this year is very significant.
Yeah, so we're very proud of being able to do that here in Clinton Community School District. I really want to thank our taxpayers for their generous support over the years and patient with us as this has been a long-range plan to try to reduce our mill rate, and I'm very happy that we were able to do that, again, by over 13%. Doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to see a reduction in their taxes though, Kathy, is that correct?
That's correct. How taxes are calculated is a complicated mechanism when it comes down to the individual homeowner or the individual rooftop. We can only set an average tax levy increase, and then what an individual property owner's home does, possibly they put on a garage, had more value added to their home than their neighbor. Another complication is we have 7 different municipalities that feed into the Clinton Community School District, and how the total property values compute between those 7 municipalities can shift which municipalities have to take on a greater share of the levy.
So for example, and I just know some of the numbers. I mean, Bradford had a much significant higher assessed value this year than the city of Beloit. The city of Beloit actually had a reduction, or they were 1.5%, where Bradford was
22%.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a huge disparity there that's taking place. And but again, some of the main points for us here in Clinton was the mill rate reduced from $12.50 to $10.84. Okay, so that's a significant reduction of over 13%. The overall levy went down by 1.5%. That's unheard of, okay, to really do that. It's they levied $170,000 less than they actually levied a year before. And so again, we're very proud of those numbers, and want to thank our taxpayers for everything that they've done for us. A few other things that we've highlights here, if we could quickly go through them. We have a Fund 46 maintenance fund, which we're maintaining that maintenance fund. We're putting money away for rainy day. Eventually 20 years from now, the roofs are going to need to be done, and we're socking money away into that maintenance fund. So 20 years from now, when there's other folks sitting in these chairs needing to put a roof on, they won't need as much money because we've already built that money. We added a solar project system up and running right now on the junior senior high on the main, which is saving us monthly cost. And over the life of the span, it's like $750,000, I believe we're saving.
And future cost increases in the utilities market will be offset. Cost avoidance is a phrase that we like to say in the business manager world for those kinds of investments at a school district.
Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of school districts had over the last few years was ESSER funds. And you made a very good point at the annual meeting Wednesday night. Can you tell a little bit about how Clinton used ESSER funds comparatively to other districts?
Sure. ESSER funding was a significant amount of money that came during the COVID time period from the federal government. And because of extremely limited dollars in the per pupil formula coming from the state, many school districts used their ESSER funds for ongoing costs, basically to balance their budget. Clinton School District did not, because of the unique position that they're in with referendum support, with taxpayer support. And now when those funds expire, which is happening September 2024, other districts are either going to have to reduce a lot of positions or go to their taxpayers for operational referenda. Basically, they're in a tough position come a year from now that Clinton will not be in.
Yeah, we wanted to, for me, I take a lot of pride in being a strong fiscal steward of the district's taxpayer dollars, and that just wasn't solid financial planning on those districts to do that. But nevertheless, they did what they had to do.
Yes.
We did what we knew we needed to do, and we did not use ESSER funds in that manner. We used ESSER funds, like I say, for a solar project, for example, on our roof. We used some of that monies for that. So the final thing we'll talk about today, Kathy, is the increase in Fund 80. And can you tell us a little bit about Fund 80 and what we plan to do with the increase in Fund 80?
Sure. Fund 80 is a community service fund that school districts have the opportunity to levy into. And again, with the Clinton School District this year, there is still an overall decrease in the levy while we are increasing the amount that we're going to levy in Fund 80 to do give back for the community. Community service funds are a benefit to the school district because it can attract families into the area, basically help have a thriving community with more activities before school, after school, just basically more opportunities for our community.
And that relates to one of our district initiatives, is to try to give back more to the community who has given us so much. And Kathy, I really want to thank you for your work that you do here at Clinton Community School District. It is such a pleasure to have you on our staff again.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, it really is. And again, Wednesday night I thought went really well. Some key highlights: mill rate went from $12.50 down to $10.84. The overall levy went down by $170,000, which equates to 1.5%. That's it's such a great thing for us here and our taxpayers. I mean, we're sitting in beautiful buildings. We've got high quality teachers and paraprofessionals and support staff throughout. We're working really hard to educate our kids to be productive citizens, and this is only going to help all of us. So Kathy, thank you, and go Cougars.